It's been a while since I made a Hunter x Hunter video, but there's just no way I could resist talking about the latest chapter of Hunter x Hunter, especially with that final page. That choked me up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that messed me up. I mean, I expected probably one of the sisters to die, but the way the bait and switch was, it was just so well done that honestly, I didn't expect it. And especially like the way it was. It's what really kind of blew me away. And I was just like, holy crap, this man Togashi, after so many chapters, he still has no chill. Even after going on hiatus, this man still has no freaking chill. I mean, I guess it makes sense, especially after what he did to a character we knew since the very beginning, from like the Hunter exam, that had his brain picked at by Pito and dissected. So, I mean, we know Togashi is a little bit of a savage. We know this. But still, just what happened was so brutal in a way and sad, because there's just so many ways the story can go now thanks to what happened to Kacho. But to kind of dive into a little bit of details, many of you are probably wondering, like, where has the Hunter x Hunter, videos have been? Since, technically this is the third chapter that has come out since Hunter x Hunter has returned. Many have been asking me, Chibi, are you doing Hunter x Hunter reviews? Like, where's that? You're a Hunter x Hunter fan. What's going on? Now, don't worry. I love Hunter x Hunter. It's still one of my favorite series of all time, and I've been reading it every single week when a chapter comes out. I'm not gonna lie. I've been following it, like, religiously. That's how much I love Hunter x Hunter. Honestly, it's the first thing I read. Like, when it comes to all the chapters that come out, like, if I haven't read the chapters while they're coming out, and all of them are out at once, usually I read Hunter x Hunter first before anything else, because that's just how much I love Hunter x Hunter. It's such a long read, it's a good read, and I just want to see what's going on, because the story's incredible. But I have been neglecting and slacking on Hunter x Hunter these past few weeks, I do admit that, and the reason for it, there's, a lot of reasons, kind of. I've been a little bit busy with some personal stuff in my life, and I did talk about slightly in my, yesterday video with ReZero, but in due time I will reveal why I'm so busy, do not worry. But I have been a little bit busy these past few weeks, and I just haven't really had the time to really dissect Hunter x Hunter like I would want, because Hunter x Hunter, it's a hard series to review. I'm just gonna be straight up with you, okay? As a series, Hunter x Hunter is incredibly difficult. It's probably one of the hardest series for me to truly break down and analyze, and the reason why it's one of the hardest is because of all of the hiatuses that it has. I mean, it's not just the fact that every single individual chapter is like a novel, like a chapter from a novel, but it also plays into the fact that it's so complex. There's so many things that Togashi set hundreds of chapters ago, or, little details and lines that you really have to pay attention to that will hold weight later on, maybe 15, chapters down the road. Granted, 15 chapters gap, that's not really that big. When you look at a normal manga, 15 chapters, it's like, oh, okay, it's just a couple weeks, obviously you should, be able to remember that. But that's the thing. See, Hunter x Hunter, it's a series that constantly goes on hiatuses, which I'm not blaming Togashi. I know everybody likes to blame on him, saying like, oh, my back and all, you just play Dragon Quest and stuff like that. Look, I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna pick on Togashi. Whatever's going on with him is going on with him. I'm not gonna force the man to work if he really is having some form of medical issues. But the point is, it can be very hard keeping up with Hunter x Hunter because of that. Because I have to go back, I gotta reread things, I gotta make sure I refresh my mind, because even though I love Hunter x Hunter, and I love reading the chapters, it takes a lot of time to just analyze certain pages or chapters, because I have to go back so many chapters and look at everything to see what is actually going on. So yeah, that's the big point. Hunter x Hunter is just a hard series to review. Been slacking on it. I just been really busy because Hunter x Hunter takes a lot of hours out of my day, and sometimes full days, just to get its video up. Not counting other reviews. Not counting like One Piece, My Hero, and all of that. So yeah, okay, there's your clarification. I am very sorry for the delays. I'm very sorry that this video is probably not going to be as analytical as like other Hunter x Hunter videos, because I'm not going to be diving into every single individual panel like I normally do, like sitting in my chair and analyzing it. I'm not doing that. But the point is I do want to talk about some events that happen that really just make you think and wonder about the future of Hunter x Hunter and what will happen next. So to get right into it, I'm sorry, I know many of you probably don't care about that little segment I just did, but it was incredibly important to say because people have been asking what's going on. Kacho. It's one of the big reasons to why I'm sitting down and even making this video today. The reason why is because Kacho's death holds so much weight for the story right now. Togashi has been killing off a lot of characters. Like, he's killed already a couple princes, and it's kind of crazy when you think about it. He's going on a spree right now. This man's already killed 3 people by coming back in 3 weeks. Just 3 chapters, 3 people have died. 2 in this chapter, and then 1 in the last chapter. It's crazy how this is being done. How Togashi is just, pulling out, the axe, and, the chopping block is there for everybody. It's just like, boom, boom, off with their head, over and over again. That's what he's been doing, and Kacho's death is very sad. Even though many of us saw it coming, we all knew, because this is Hunter x Hunter, that she was probably going to die, or at least one of the sisters were going to die. It's still sad because she was a character that obviously didn't deserve to be a part of this. Like, she didn't want to be a part of it. She loved her sister. She just wanted to have a happy life with her sister, and that's pretty much it. That's all she wanted. She wanted nothing else, and that's what made the situation so sad. And what made it so dramatic with this chapter is that Melody went out of her way to try to save, the sisters, Kacho and all of them, and it was sad to see what happened, because you have this bait and switch going on to where these hands are coming in, and then all of a sudden it looks like, maybe Kacho died, but she comes through the door, and you're like, oh, thank God, like, she's alive, and you're just breathing easy, like, yes. But then you get to the next page, and you just see the boat, a zoom in on the boat, and you see Kacho just laying down on the boat and all that with a really, like, dead-looking face, and you're like, oh, and then you read the dialogue, and then you're like, oh, it just really hits you. It comes full circle. And let's dive into that. Kacho's Nin Beast. What it's capable of, and what does it mean for the story? Especially for Fu, since she's technically going to have a Nin Beast-like sister from this point going onward, unless she dies. So from the translations from MS, it's stated that whenever one of the sisters die, the Nin Beast from Kacho would activate and in turn create a perfect copy of the said individual. So, for instance, if Fu was to die, then that would mean that a copy of her would have been made instead of Kacho. But since Kacho is the one that died, that means that the Nin Beast took form of her. Now, this is very strange and interesting for a Nin Beast, because you see, Nin Beasts are attached to the host. We've already seen this. When the host dies, the Nin Beast dies. That's what's been stated since pretty much the very beginning, since this entire selection started. So we know for a fact if, for instance, let's say Kacho dies, normally her Nin Beast, it's gone. And that's the part about this that makes it very strange. Since Kacho is dead, and technically the Nin Beast has replaced her, what is the Nin Beast doing? Like, how is it getting its food? Now, it's a pretty simple answer, honestly. It's Nin after death. It's pretty common sense. That's what's going on here. Since Kacho died, the Nin Beast activated, and it formed into her, and then thanks to Nin after death, strengthening certain Nin and different properties, obviously that's probably why the creature is able to remain like it is, even without Kacho being present. But that's the question. What exactly did the Nin after death really affect, besides not having to probably need a link with someone, or maybe it now is linked to Fu, for all we know. Maybe, Kacho's clone, the Nin Beast is actually attached to her now, but now everybody can technically see her since it's technically a conjuration. That's the question I have. But here's the thing. With Kacho now being dead, it's pretty much confirmed. And, I mean, we know that probably potentially people that are dead could come back to life because of certain Nin and things that happen probably throughout the story. And obviously something like that happened, maybe, Kacho's main body could come back. Who knows? We don't really know exactly what's fully going on in Hunter x Hunter all the time because Togashi has a very complex mind. But for now, though, looking at it, Kacho is dead and a Nin Beast has replaced her. Obviously, nobody knows at this time besides us, the reader of Hunter x Hunter, and probably some that is able to tell the difference between the perfect Kacho and then the fake one. For instance, if you're able to look at, let's say, the spirit or the aura of the individual. Because obviously, if Melody looks at this Kacho, she's going to realize that something's off. Maybe heartbeat, or maybe just in terms of maybe aura or strength, there's going to be something very off. And the question I have, though, is this Nin Beast, is it aware of what it is? That's a question I do have. Since it's a perfect copy, it makes me wonder, does it retain all of the memories and everything from the person that died, but on top of that, does it also know what it is? Does it know it's a fake? Or does it know that it's a Nin Beast that's technically Nin after death? Does it know that? And if it does, that's going to bring a whole lot of issues, because the creature will know for a fact it's not truly the person that Fu really wants or loves. And that's going to be very difficult for this Nin Beast. It's, I think, going to bring up a whole new, issue or a plot point for the story that we really haven't seen before. Because, we've seen how certain Nin can evolve, change, and, we've seen Nin after death. But seeing Nin legit get a personality, like Nin after death have a personality, do its own thing, and eventually maybe having its own will to do what it wants, it really just makes you wonder what's going to happen. Since it's a perfect copy of Kacho, and it will only disappear when the other user dies. That's what was stated, by the way. When the person besides the Nin after death, creature dies, then that would mean that it would disappear. So if Fu dies, Kacho's fake clone dies. But if Kacho continuously protects Fu, then I'm assuming the clone is never going to die, judging by the abilities, or at least what was stated by Togashi in this chapter. This is where translations could get rather difficult. So, who knows? Maybe this Kacho, this fake Kacho, is actually immortal now for the time being, until something really powerful either overrides Kacho's fake, or, Fu dies, something. But for now, though, the point stands is that if this creature is aware of itself, then I feel like it's going to be a very interesting situation or dilemma between, Kacho and Fu. But if the creature actually thinks it's Kacho, then that's what's going to really make it even more complex and fascinating, because then there's going to be an identity crisis, wondering who you really are. Because if the creature finds out that it truly isn't Kacho, and it truly knows that, and it's like, oh crap, then what's it gonna do? Like, is it going to just, be very angry, sad? What's really going to happen? Because, see, even though it's Nin after death, and it is tasked with protecting Fu, it's very apparent if it has its own will, it could probably decide to do whatever it wants. And from what we know from Nin Beast as well, they do have their own personality. They do have their own ability to be able to do different things, like whatever they want. I mean, they could technically even harm their host if they really wanted to. I mean, we even saw in the last chapter with Hulkenberg and how his Nin Beast protected him from actually him ending himself. So we do know that Nin Beast can technically move you and do whatever they want to protect you, because if you die, obviously they die, but they could technically harm you if they want. So, I really wonder how far, this Nin Beast will go, and what type of control it has over itself besides the restrictions of Nin after death. Now, anyways, besides all of that, let's talk about Kenny. The saddest part about this chapter, besides Kacho, is the fact that what happened to Kenny, he did it for no reason at all. I mean, I guess, granted, he will get to see his, child and his wife again. That is a good thing, but why he did it in the first place, technically he did it for nothing, because he wanted to do it to get the sisters out. And even if they failed, he assumed that they would just come back to the ship. Everything would be fine. But obviously that did not happen. We saw it. So technically, he ended himself for no reason. He died for no reason at all. And that's the sad part about this, is not the fact that just Kacho died, but Kenny, a character, sacrificed himself pretty much for no freaking reason at all. And I'm just like, whoa, I just didn't expect that type of way to go. It's a very dark moment, because the man's looking at a picture of his child and his wife, and he's like, I'll get to meet you soon, and, he ends it, and I'm just like, whoa, like, that's even dark for Togashi. That's a really dark moment, and I just couldn't believe that Togashi would go one step further to make it look like, yeah, he did it for no reason at all. Granted, this fake Kacho might be a lot stronger than regular Kacho, since it is a Nin Beast. It most likely has different abilities and stuff it can probably use, physical strength or whatever, but even then, though, still, technically, the original died, so, yeah, that's a sad way to go. It really is. But that's really all I wanted to mainly talk about, besides the stuff with Melody from this chapter. Melody surprised me. I mean, we've always known that Melody was a very strong hunter. We've always known this. It's never been something that wasn't obvious to begin with. But to truly see her feats and what she did blew me away. She actually managed to stun everybody, like, in one floor for, like, a couple of minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes, which is ridiculous. I mean, to be able to legit keep them, like, in a state of, like, paralysis, basically, for that long, that's incredible. There was people in the Hunters Association, there was, just, Benjamin and all that Kami, and you're like, oh my god, she was able to stun them where they couldn't move. It's incredible power. And that really says a lot about Melody's strength and what she's truly capable of to be able to do something like that. So, yeah, hats off to Melody being able to do that. Like, that was impressive show of power. I really look forward to seeing more Melody as the series goes on. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the chapter. All I really wanted to talk about, as I said, I didn't want to dive into the nitty-gritty and dive into every single panel, but that stuff that did happen this chapter needed to be talked about because it really just sets up for a lot of things that could potentially happen with the series. But I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.